positive. I see folks on the screen, but I don't know if that's besides Joe and Spencer on the side, right side.
I'm guessing the Marianne is my Marianne from Mist as well.
So for the record, we have Will as vice chair. We have Eric Smythe from Columbia River Fire, Chief Kaczynski. We have Marianne is from Mist also.
Yep, Marianne Berg.
Staff, we have Nathan Hughes, Mark Levine, Mike Fletcher, Mary Jo Beck, Mickey Nichols, Danelle Hooper.
And
we do
not have a quorum, so this will be another informational meeting. We can kind of go through since we don't have a quorum, we don't have an annual appointment unless, Eric, do you have anybody that you would like to change as your appointments?
Not at this time.
So correct, can't take any actions. Staff can give the reports. That's it. That's just information.
Pixley just joined.
Oh, good.
There we go. Yep.
How you guys doing?
We are well. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, sorry, I got busy this afternoon, so.
Sure. But we still need a count, correct?
Need 5 and we need at least 1 law enforcement,
So we have,
which is Pixley, and so yeah, we're still
short of a quorum.
Yep. But our members can still make recommendations or appointments for their committee members, correct?
They can make recommendations. We would take that to the board.
Okay. So for Ms. Birkenfeld, our annual appointments, I would remain the primary. And then our recommendation would be to add Marianne Berg as the alternate because Larry Boxman has since moved on to a volunteer role.
What's Marianne's last name?
Berg.
Okay.
we will change.
Sheriff Pixley, do you have any recommendations for your committee member appointments? Or would you like them to remain the same?
I would like them to remain the same, please.
Copy that. And Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer is with K Wireless.
Okay. So because of no quorum, we have no election of advisory committee positions. So we can move on to district updates with an operations report from Danelle.
Update on staffing. We currently are at 3 full-time lead dispatchers, 9 full-time communication specialists, and 1 part-time. We had 2 new communication specialists start, 1 in May and 1 in July since we met last night at this meeting. Currently 3 in training and they're all doing really well. We just closed accepting applications this last Friday for entry level, and we're continuing to accept laterals. 3 staff members attended the Western Regional APCO conference in Boise in May. And all staff are participating in leadership training, the high impact leadership training that's put on by Dr. D. Hicks monthly. On our community events, we did have a booth at the fair. Board members, admin, and operations staff, along with some family, were there. It was a good event. Also, since we last met, we are in the process of our staff adopting a peer support program, and we have hired Stephanie Kahn to work with staff to build a comprehensive peer support program. Staff are thankful for all of the support from all of the users. There's been a lot of tough calls lately with low staffing. And I'd like to mention that one of our trainees that graduated DPSST at the end of June was awarded the Victor G. Atea, I always say it wrong, Outstanding Student Award at graduation from Basic Telecommunications. It's the highest honor a student can achieve from DPSST, and we're very proud of her. And I don't have anything else. Any questions?
Any questions for Danelle? Thank you, Danelle.
No question, but I would just like to congratulate the Victor Giatia Award. I actually received that same award when I graduated from the Corrections Academy. It's a lot of work, so they did a hell of a good job to get that.
Awesome.
Thanks for the input, Chief, Sheriff.
Thanks, Danelle. Moving on to equipment and technology, Nathan.
About a week and a half ago, the company CrowdStrike pushed a bad update, which was causing a lot of Windows computers to go into a loop of turning on and going into a blue screen of death. Here at Columbia 911, we don't use that software, so we were not affected. Some Magix users were affected though, so that was a rough night and a rough morning. Magix started to disconnect some of our connections before we knew what the exact issue was, in case there was any kind of intrusion into our network. We are working to upgrade the admin phone system currently. That should be going into play around August 14th. Best of command posts. We are working with Motorola and Day Wireless to get some portable call taking computers so we can take calls outside of this facility if needed. We are also working on a deployable that will have CAD, radios, and phones in it. So if we have a major incident, we can take this box out and take calls and dispatch units from there. And then the HVAC, the BARD units at Clatskanie radio site failed. So we are working with Columbia Northwest to get those replaced. And hopefully that'll be soon. We're just waiting for them to be delivered. Any questions?
Hearing none. Thank you, Nathan. Moving on to the director's report.
Thank you, sir. We'll go down the agenda for conversation topics regarding my report and old business. The Meisner site reconstruction, since we last met, is now complete. The migration of equipment was made. The decommissioning of our old structure and equipment is taking place. The installation of new fencing is complete. And the final step is updating the lease agreement with ODF. One that they had was very old, and some of the terms and conditions of it were not applicable today. So that is, legal counsel is working with ODF on that. A part of the Meisner completion included the wrap up of our phase 3 microwave project. And this has been ongoing for the last 3-4 years. We've been doing that in phases. And with the Meisner tower being complete, the link between that site and Clatskanie is done. It's up and running. The next step was finishing out the link between Corey Hill, which is Vernonia, to Clatskanie, and that too is complete. The reports from Day Wireless is that those new links are up and running, and they're running performance-wise the best they ever have. So very happy with that. PDCC, which Columbia 911 is a part of, is wrapping up the resiliency study and recommendation with mission critical partners. We provided our input to mission critical, and we're waiting their final report for the 10 ECCs in the metro area. Our CPE replacement. So the CPE is customer premise equipment. That's our 911 phone system. That is complete. That went very well. Very few bumps, and we're operating smooth and clear on that. The Next Gen Radio project is still ongoing. There are conversations taking place between federal legal counsel and Motorola. We're detailing, there were questions in their proposal and we're getting clarifications. We hope to have a full, complete package to present to the users and the board in the coming months or two. Kind of like herding cats. Moving on down. Going through multiple things here. So in the past, since we last met, we had a vacancy in our Zone 2 director's position. That position was held by Jeremy Hazenkamp. He resigned that position. The board sought a replacement. Came down to 2 people, and the board reappointed Jeff Flatt, who had previously held that position and actually was in the last election and lost to Mr. Hazenkamp. So he has been appointed back to the board and will complete Jeremy's term. The district acquired some surplus tower equipment. This is much like what we did with Meisner, except this is a different type of equipment. We acquired a 140, 150 foot monopole that is destined to replace our antiquated Haven Acres site. It's a very small footprint up there, and so monopole is actually works perfect versus a 3 or 4 leg self-support lattice tower. So we have acquired that. It came with a shelter, a generator, a propane tank. The district signed an agreement with Special Districts Association of Oregon for fiscal consulting. This is centers around a potential future bond request. They act as counsel and give us guidance. They do all the studies on rates and the taxable rates and give the board options of multiple years, different tax rates, et cetera. So we've signed an agreement and an engagement letter with special districts, and those conversations have not started yet. On Sunday, July 14th, Senator Ron Wyden held a town hall here in St. Helens. I attended that and explained our situation with both our levy and a potential future bond and seeking. So for the folks that don't realize this, special districts are often specifically excluded from a lot of grants. Federal grants are generally focused to counties and cities and not to special districts specifically. So he has pledged his support to help us. He assigned a staff member to work with us, and we've shared a couple of emails. And so we will be pursuing that as far as we can go. The special option levy, as you know, so we met last in April. It failed. Conversations taking place of when and if the district will reapply for that levy hasn't been determined yet. So, and I'm just looking at everything. I think that's everything I have, sir.
Any questions for Mike? Hearing none. This time we can move into a roundtable of discussion. If anybody has anything to bring up or any announcements. Hearing none. We can adjourn this meeting at 12:14 and just for Eric.
Thank you.
Next meeting is October